What's the best method of cooking for your soup or tea? The scale that I'm going to use today is based on flavor intensity. Flavor intensity in this case is not really measured. I'm just going by taste and experience on how this scales. There are three things that can impact the intensity. First is temperature, so how hot you're boiling something at, or how hot the water is, or how hot the temperature or the environment in which your soup or tea is being made in. Second is time, how much time is being used in the cooking process. The third is pressure, and there is a correlation to pressure versus time when it comes to intensity of flavors in soups. There are essentially four traditional models in Chinese cooking, although with modern technology and devices, I'm going to add another two. The first is steeping, or in Cantonese is known as gok, which reminds me of like steaming, but like covered. So it's almost like sauna, essentially. The idea is that it's an environment that's covered with a certain temperature. This method is essentially best for herbal teas. It's the quickest to make. You don't need a lot of energy. Actually, the water is already pre-boiled. It often doesn't use meats, and it's the weakest in flavors, but it does do the job, especially for Chinese herbal teas. The second method of cooking with a little more flavor intensity is the quick boil, or in Cantonese, it's called guan tong, which means like bubbling soup, literal translation. This is best for fast soups or a little more intense herbal teas. They tend to be less than 30 minutes and have a medium energy usage, and the best way for this is to use itty-bitty ingredients so that they cook fast. I have a few quick bowl recipes that all highlight that I'm cutting the ingredients pretty small. The third method is probably the most traditional, which is just a typical stovetop boil. This is perfect for longer boil soups or traditional Chinese medicine. These soups tend to cook for more than 30 minutes and have a constant flow of energy to make sure that the soup is boiling. In this heated environment, you tend to cook the meats, bones, and vegetables until they're soft. These are the best for most soups, as this is the most common way to make Chinese soups. The fourth method of making Chinese soups is what's called a double boil. In Cantonese, it's called dan tong. Dan means stew, boil, simmer, all that kind of environment where it's just a gentle bubble of the liquid. These type of soups are the most intense in flavors. What happens is it's quite unique in the technical setup in that it's actually a pot within a pot. And so the soup is contained within the inner pot, and best for soups that are rich, have a depth in flavor, and actually more intensity in the flavor profile. These soups do take a while to cook because you're actually boiling the outer pot, which has the water, which then heats the inner pot, which also has the soup. These soups are energy intensive and usually boil between medium and medium-high heat. And the great thing about these soups is that it doesn't reduce in water. It's because the soup is contained within the whole pot and everything just kind of cooks within it. This type of cooking method is amazing for those rich, deep chicken broths, healing soups, double boiled winter melon, which is a favorite of mine, and other soups you could find on the site. There are two more categories that I'm going to throw in just because of the evolution of technology in the pots that we have today. There's the thermal pot, which I am a big fan of. These pots actually have an outer insulation and the inner pot goes in. So the idea is that you can cook this without electricity. The heat within the pot will retain because it's insulated and cook over time. The thermal pot mimics the flavor intensity of your long boil soups. And then your pressure-based technology, such as the Instapot or pressure cooker. This type of cooking method is in a pressurized environment, and so it reduces the time in which you cook with the same flavor intensities. These are best for your long boils, desserts, even to a certain extent some of the double boil ingredients as well. And so which cooking method is best for your soup? Well, it depends on the ingredients that you're using. And this is where making Chinese soups is such a blend of art and science. While there are fixed recipes that do work, tried and tested and passed on through generations, there are also so many permutations and combinations based on Chinese herbs, the number of ingredients out there like vegetables, even fruits, and the variety of meats available. And sometimes that's why there's really no fixed recipe. Some of these recipes are passed down from experience from generation to generation. And this is the space that I love. It's capturing all the stories and the varieties and just all the learnings through our generations, my parents, my grandparents, about what it is and what it means for me and my health, for me and my family. So happy experimenting. I'll continue the series of some of the logic that goes behind the soup design. And if you have any questions, comments, or things you want to share, leave them in the comments. I love them and will follow up with all of them. Happy soup making, and I'll see you next time.